Well, hello and welcome everyone to Season 7 for Category 3 here at RLH. We are here at Silverstone for Round 2 of the season. Technically it's Round 1 because Austria was halted due to technical difficulties we had last week, but it will be rerun at a later time. But here we are, qualifying is underway. So this will be first time we'll see everyone on track still. Seems like the weather is wet conditions, or actually it seems like dry but just cloudy. Might be rain forecast. So wheel check in Red Bull leading away. First round of hot laps. Looking at the times, I think people will be aiming to get into the low 25s and into 24s, I'm sure. So, seems like everyone is going for softs pretty much, except for wheel check and Matchip in the McLaren. His debut in this category, coming from C5. It's actually looking like one of the top contenders from the preseason pace. But back to wheel check on his hot lap. Got yellows in final sector, maybe someone's slowing down. Through turn 9, tricky one. Through the S's here. This corner especially is, oh, I think he might, yeah, he invalidated that lap. Let's see how Matchip does. Sector 1, purple. Ooh, runs wide. Doesn't invalidate though. See how he does through turn 13. Stays within the limits. And Florian has actually set a 25.5 meanwhile. And Ahmed going 24.9. Pretty good lap for round 1. See where Matchip actually comes in. See Lurch in one of the Racing Point clowns. Teammating with Phil. Oh, runs very wide at the exit of turn 13. Oh, invalidates it. Might as well pitted. Who else? Ben. Having set a middle sector purple. Let's see what time he can clock in. through the final few turns. Comes third, 25.6. So Ahmed's quite a bit ahead of everyone else at this stage. Let's see who else. Magat maybe finishing his lap. No, invalidated. Andre in sector 1 locks up a little bit. Seems like it was a slow getaway from that corner. Just Jazzy Jeff also on a hot lap, and then second Red Bull through that SS turn 13, keeps it clean. DRS open. Just followed by his teammate actually, who's about to start another lap. He's not very good time, but P7 for now. Let's go back to Andre finishing his lap. Oh, he's invalidated it. Who else do we have? I think Wheeljack just started his second run through turn 3 and 4 into the DRS section. This corner has many lines. It's interesting how different drivers exit. But purple first sector so far. See what his lap time is. Comes 25.6, so third. Times are quite a bit off still, in the high 25s, except for Ahmed, who's gone out again. So we'll follow Andre maybe. Andre's on an out lap. Actually on a hot lap. Just started it. Let's see where man like Tonki is. Also just started. Behind him. Oh, Matchip on a hot lap. Let's see what Matchip is actually doing. Who is pitting again? He's invalidated this lap, maybe, or not happy with the run. Switch back to Andre. I think we got it. It's Billy is also on a hot lap. What's Andre's middle sector? Might get some slipstream, but he's 2/10 off his own time. Let's switch to Billy. He's also 2/10 off in first sector in the AlphaTauri. Let's see what Marius is finished. He's just started his lap in the Alfa Romeo. Surprisingly, still quite a few drivers in the 26s. On softs. Marius goes almost 1/10 quicker in first sector, so the fastest first sector of all session. Let's see. Ben is also starting his second run. Also 10th quicker. Let's switch back to Marius. Marius has lost a little bit of time, so it'll be interesting to see if he can still improve on this lap. Last few corners can be can win a lot in these, but it goes a little bit deep. Doesn't improve. See what Ben is doing. Oh, it's up. Yeah, it's up 2/10. It's looking to slot P2 with this lap. I think Vallicella just improved P5. A lot of drivers out there, so see what Ben ends up. Almost 3/10 up, so goes P2. Let's see. Multi-Rob, 2/10 losing on this lap. Not. Let's see, Ruska, 3/10 up. Goes P10. Multi-Robs has invalidated. Laricella invalidated. Ahmed's out on a lap again. Madship's teammate. McLaren looking pretty strong. Meanwhile, we got a weather update. The race is confirmed to be raining, so everyone can just go flat out with the tires and no worries, because they'll be starting on wet. I think Matchips just started his third run now. That would probably make sense why he pitted on the mediums in the first run, because it made no sense to qualify on mediums if the race is rain. Let's see if he can finally set a time though. I think he lifted there a little bit to avoid running too wide. Through the SS. Quite careful. .25.6, so goes P4. So it's a pretty good lap for the Matchip. Team McLaren P1 and P4 at the moment. I think Wheeljack has gone up almost 3/10. So let's see if he can. He goes P2, 3/10 up, 25.375. So that's good lap from Wheeljack and retires. So that's qualifying done for him. Settles for P2 for the moment. We have just Jeff Jazzy in the second Red Bull on a lap. Let's see what's his middle sector will be. I think Florian is also on a lap, so we'll check in with him in a second. So 3/10 up at the moment, so looking good for P6, P7 maybe. Let's see. See what Florian is doing. Florian is not improving, but Jeff will definitely improve. Goes P6 with a 25.7. And we have 3 minutes left, so might still have a few drivers doing their final runs. Following Maggot in the Williams. Through the S's. Keeps it clean. A little bit of inside cut, but he's 1 second off, so not a good lap for him. Let's see what Andre goes 3/10 quicker, still P12. We have Ben going on a hot lap soon. I think it's Billy might be on a lap, just started a lap. Going through turns 3 and 4. It's a very good exit is important here. Three tenths up on the first sector, goes purple. This see if he can, he might be able to get in the top 5 there with this time. Definitely top 5, maybe even P4 or P3. Two tenths up so far. So Ben has just started his lap. Let's see what Ben does. In the black Mercedes. Definitely a title contender last season, so hopefully he can get better luck this season. And I think it's Billy went P5 with a 25.6. Meanwhile, Ben is purple sector, sector 1. Oh, runs wide, invalidates it. That's a shame. Might have been a good lap there. And who else do we have? A lot of people actually out. Let's see what Marius might be doing. Invalidated. Multi-Rob is matching first sector. Phil, one of the other clowns in the Racing Point. Let's see what he's doing. Both Racing Points out actually. Gets through the S's. First sector 3 tenths up. Looking maybe can it get into the 25s. Meanwhile his teammate is just about finishing lap. Let's see what Lurch can do. Goes a little bit wide there, 27.1. And Phil goes 4 tenths up, P11. Let's see Ruska. Sector 1, 1/10 up. Through the S's. Still 1/10 up. Might be able to jump Phil there. Maybe even multi-rab. Very clean through the chicane. Stays P13. Lost a little bit of time in the last sector there. I think that's qualifying over. Meanwhile, I missed Matchip got P2 on this final run. So it's a McLaren 1-2. That's very, wouldn't say unexpected, but it's a surprise. It's a nice surprise. New Matchip is quick and Ahmed is definitely quick, so looking very good for the McLaren 1-2 gridlock for their, locking the front row for the race. So it's a great job for Matchip coming from C5 and qualifying P2. getting attacked there by the Renault. But a great result for the McLaren team, and P3 goes to Red Bull, wheel check, and second row P4 starting Ben, the other Mercedes, the only Mercedes actually today. P5 we have Ferrari Florian, followed by It's Billy in the AlphaTauri. Then we got the second Red Bull in P7, and we got Larcello in the Haas P8. We got Marius P9 and Pili Mizu in the second AlphaTauri in P10. So this is the final qualifying order. Ahmed, the only driver to break into 24s, and a solid 4/10 lead on the next driver, so very good performance from the McLaren driver. The rest of the grid pretty evenly spread out, and Man Like Donkey actually did not set a time. So rain is supposed to be a factor in the race, so we'll see how bad it is, and yeah, hopefully everyone can get a clean start and see some good racing. Looks like it's pouring, so it will definitely, would it be wet tires or will it be inters? We'll find out as the formation lap will begin any moment. It's interesting if the drivers opted for a wet setup, that might be the reason why the times were a little bit lower. Although Ahmed's time still was very good, so I'm not sure how many drivers went for a full wet setup, but looks like it's Inter start. We are off for a formation lap. Leading away is Matchup actually. Trying to get some heat maybe, going a little faster. But Ahmed is still the P1, followed by the Red Bull of Wheelcheck. Then we got Ben in the black Mercedes P4. It looks really wet actually. I'm surprised it's Inters because it looks really pouring. We got one of the drivers already off on a formation lap. Florian in the Ferrari has done a Vettel, I imagine. Then we got P6 starting, it's Billy in the leading AlphaTauri. P7 is the second Red Bull, just Jazzy Jeff. We got one of the Haas drivers, Floricello, P8, followed by Marius Daniel in the leading Alfa Romeo. And then we have Billy Mizu in the second AlphaTauri, starting P10. Outside of P10 we have Multi-Rap starting P11 in the Williams. Philip McConaughey, the leading Racing Point, in P12. Ruska in the Renault, P13. Then we got the second Haas, Andre Ivan in P14. Followed by Maggot in the second Williams. Followed by the second Racing Point, driven by Lurch. And rounding up the grid is Man Like Donkey in the second Ferrari. Not really sure why he didn't set a time, but We'll see how his race pace will be from the back. So we have Creed is starting to form up. We'll see how the start will go in these wet conditions. Cars are lining, lots of the cars are lining up now. Everyone's ready. And here we go. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and lights out, and off we go. A little bit of a slow start from the Red Bull. The McLaren seem to be getting off really good. Ben is looking like he's being challenged by the AlphaTauri there. He's lost the position to It's Billy at the back. We have no contacts so far, I believe. Seems like yellow flags though. A little bit of a Ahmed at the front go, getting away pretty good. Followed by his teammate Majid. It's Ben. Everyone's looking like no big incidents so far. Got yellow flags again. Everyone seems to be finding their... I think big Andre might have had off there, dropping to P16. And Maggot has the front wing damage, so maybe he had contact with somebody. Meanwhile at the front, It's Billy is pretty close to Majid. Definitely looking like a good 3-way battle happening already here. Meanwhile, Ahmed is starting to pull away. Already more than a second cap to his teammate. I think Ben might be looking... Oh, we got one of the Racing Points pitting. Might have had some damage. So is Maggot, who obviously had damage. But it is said the whole race is raining, so it will be pretty simple in terms of tire strategy. And yeah, man like Tonki gets a 3-second penalty. So I think there's another battle between behind the Red Bull. Just Chazzy Jeff holding off Marius and Pilimizu. Lartel gets past Pilimizu right now. And Pilimizu actually has a front wing damage. So that might be affecting him. Going wheel to wheel through there. And Pilimizu dropped back a lot. Losing out quite a bit. Almost the whole crate got past him there. And Wheeljack has dropped back 14 places, so I'm not sure what happened to him. Not great start for him. Lurch. Phil Manaki also in a very tight battle here for the last point place. Up front, Ben is still very close to It's Billy. Billy Mizo is pitting for front wing. Got yellow flags. It's one of the... Oh, we've had a wheel check, has lost his wheel. So he's out of the race. I wonder if there will be a safety car maybe. Doesn't seem like there will be. Meanwhile, Ben is holding station in P4 still. And Phil is very close. That's quite unfortunate with Wheeltrack having done such a good qualifying and then lost it in the first stint of the race. I think Andre Ivan looking like... Oh, Man Like Donkey loses it a little bit, gives up the place to Andre. Looking close, but not close enough yet to Ruska. Up front, it's Billy and Ben are still close to Matchup, who's now 2 seconds down on his teammate, but holding still a pretty good pace. Not slow enough for Billy and Ben to really challenge him yet. Ooh, Billy gets a little wide there through turn 2. Might be challenged by Ben here soon. Ben has contact. So Loricello progressing pretty rapidly towards Marius. So I think at the back, Lurch, Billy Mees and Magat were one of the few people that had to pit for sure, so they're like 30 seconds off, but everyone else is still pretty close. So those 3 guys at the back definitely hoping for a safety car at this point. I think Ben is very close, might be making a move outside, and seems to get a clean pass on Billy. Moving into P3, and Loricello makes a move. Florian makes a move on Marius. Oh, Marius has lost it, maybe. He is off. I wonder if there was contact between Loricello and Marius. He's definitely had it off after the DRS straight. No damage, I believe. Up front, Phil still keeping up with Ruska. And Ben has already gained within 0.6 of Matchup. The gap was over a second, right after he made an overtake on Billy. Phil right now 0.3 behind Ruska, so can he maybe stay close enough to challenge after the S's? Goes a bit wide. And I think up front Ben is gaining on Matchup definitely. Three tenths separating them now. All about the exit here. Not quite yet. Let's see what Phil does. Phil has lost some time. Not close enough either. So back to Ben. This fight for P2 is definitely on. Ben sets the fastest lap too. Oh, goes very wide there. Probably tried to carry too much speed in these conditions. So I think the Red Bull might be gaining on Billy as well, but still second off. Loricello is gaining on the Red Bull as well, so we might be having another three-way battle for P4 soon. Down at the back, Phil's still not able to get close enough to Ruska. So might have to wait for the pit stop strategy. Maybe. Got man like Tonki gaining on multi-wrap meanwhile. Separated by a half a second. Having started from the back, he's now P12. So it's those few places still the points. His teammate is P7, so who's let's see. Marius Daniel in P13, one of the drivers who lost it out, but didn't have to pit. Then we got Lurch driving alone right now, followed by Billy Mizu, who's also quite off, having had the front wing change. Maggot 7 seconds further down. Oh, this is strange. We got wheel check still in the game. What is going on? Meanwhile, Ahmed leading the field, trying to gain the gap on Matchip, almost 3 seconds. So doing a solid job. I think we got Ferrari off. It's, who is it? Man like Donkey has lost it in turn 2, I think. Is about to be overtaken by Marius. Might have been contact. Marius tries something but backs out. We got Vladicello very close to the Red Bull now. 2/10, so he might have a go here. So I think Billy is starting to hold up Jeff. And we got yellow flags. Is it again man like Tonki? I think he might have gone off again. Meanwhile, I think Vladicello is still very close to Red Bull. So is Ben. Ben is getting an inside move on Matchip. Side by side, still stays behind. Definitely battling it out hard. Just helping Ahmed actually build a gap furthermore. Now over 3 second gap to his teammate. Ben is so close that he might have to even lift off. We got yellow flags again, and I think, not sure, but Ruska and Phil are fighting it out with Vladicello. And it's also very heated battle here. Phil, who has been behind Ruska for a while now, is also challenged by Vladicello right behind, who's challenged by Vladicello's teammate Andre. So it's an intense four-way battle happening here. Vladicello goes wide there. Very tricky in these conditions. You want to push too hard and spin. Phil is very close now to Ruska, and he needs to make the move. Goes on the inside. Oh, there will be contact. No damage, luckily. And side by side on the exit. Can he make the move stick? Gets through. But Renault is coming back on the straight very fast. Very good exit for Ruska. And down at the back, I think the Haas driver swapped positions. So Andre got past his teammate. Phil's still stuck P8 behind Ruska. So this battle will go on. Up at front, Billy still staying within 1 second of Ben, and Ben still behind Matchup. But Ahmed's extended the lead to now 5 seconds. So leading quite comfortably at the front. So what can Phil do? What can Andre do? Yellow flag sector 2. Looks like it's the Ferrari of Man Like Donkey is out of the race, and we got virtual safety car. Will anyone be able to pit? Because these guys are just about outside of the pit. But maybe this can help Marius. Might be too early to pit. For new inters. He is not pitting either. Lurch already has stopped once, so might not need to stop right now. Do have a virtual safety car still active. It's ending now, I think. So Ahmed will resume his lead. 5 seconds on Majib, who's still holding off Ben. So Majib is doing a really solid job for his teammate, holding off the Mercedes. And Jeff is very close to Billy, actually, as well. Not. It's interesting how Ben is, I think, seems to be faster, but not really able to overtake Matchup. Meanwhile, let's see this four-way battle. Phil still stuck behind Ruska. And Andre right behind Chips, so we'll see if he can try something on this lap. It's a great job seeing a Matchup driving a very consistent, pushing but not pushing too much. Got sector 2 and 3 yellow flags again. I think it's AlphaTauri. Billy Mizu has had an off. No front wing damage though. So not having a great race. Qualified pretty good, but not a good race. Meanwhile, up front, still battle going on between the McLaren and the Mercedes. And so is the battle between Ruska and Phil and Andre and Floricello. Actually, Floricello has just had off, so he's dropped down places. Now, giving a multi-wrap P10 into the points for the Williams driver. Still 8 seconds off this battle ahead. Phil decides to pit, so he is pitting for fresh inters and starting off the pit window. Let's see if anyone will respond and how much quicker can he go on the fresh tires, and where he's gonna come out. I guess he might come out in front of his teammate. So here we go. RLH Clown's pit crew doing a solid job, and he's gonna feed out. Might just come out. Actually, Multirap has also pitted. So here comes Phil. definitely ahead of his teammate, who's just coming through turn 2, so Phil's made it out in front of his teammate. Lurch, having stopped early in the race for damage, is now in P12. This moved up Andre and Blaricello, so now they're P8 and 9. Still not close enough to Ruska at this point. Meanwhile, Jazzy Jeff is still staying within second of Billy. See if they will pit or stay out. And looks up front. Ben is making contact with Matchit there. I think he did not get any damage, but window is open officially now, so we'll see who's going to come in first. For the McLaren drivers, I'm sure Ahmed has the first priority. Ahmed at front, over 5 seconds lead, so leading this race very comfortably. Solid race for Ahmed. No mistakes. I wonder if Ahmed might be pitting this lap. There's no need to take extra risks to stay out longer for him, I think. But the traffic will be important for him. He might see what the gaps are. He's probably going to drop down to P9 or P8 ahead of Blaricello. And I think Blaricello's really lost out. He's more than 10 seconds behind his teammate. So I must have had it off somewhere. But yeah, let's see if Ahmed decides to pit in. And yeah, he's coming in. That means Matchip has to stay another lap, and if Ben pits, then that will put Matchip in a risk. So Matchip is gonna assume the lead right now. See if Ben stays actually out. So that is less risky for Matchip actually. And just Jazzy Jeff as well pitting. And so is Florian. So these two guys very close. Red Bull's out and the Ferrari right behind him. So Ahmed so far is exiting. And Ben is very close to Matchip again. Is he gonna try something? It's funny seeing that one Red Bull there without a rear wheel of wheel check. And Ahmed actually dropped to P6, so ahead of Volicello and behind Andre, so he's not really held up by any traffic at that point, which is great. Great timing. And now it's just a matter of when these two guys will pit. Ben is very close, but be interesting to see the lap times once Ahmed does a solid run, if he's quicker than these two. I'm sure they might be considering pitting now. So let's see. Yeah, Matchip does a dummy. See that? Or maybe he was looking at what Ben does. So they are staying out for another lap. Maggot just exiting pits there, getting lapped. Matchip leading the race at the moment. Has been a McLaren 1-2 from the qualifying until this point. So what can Ben do to split the McLarens? Phil gets a 3-second penalty there. So I wonder if Ahmed's done a lap now that we can compare. not yet, so we don't know. So surely they might be pitting this lap. It's already past halfway point, so let's see how. So Mad Chip still stays out. They are going for another lap. And very close between them. Meanwhile, Ahmed is within 24 seconds, so let's see. Ahmed's. Majib has done at 30, low 39s. So let's see what Ahmed's time will be on this lap. Ahmed is into 38s, so he's definitely going quicker, almost a second quicker than these two guys. Oh, and Ben is trying now, and still not. So they're definitely losing time. And you can see visibly Ahmed's already was over 24 seconds behind, and now is low 23s. So they definitely should be pitting. Not sure why are they staying out, but Ben is trying on the outside now, gets the move done. And I'm sure Matchit will be pitting this lap immediately. I think Matchit should have pitted earlier, maybe, if Ben didn't pit. But Ben assumes the lead briefly. And we have some yellow flags. It's a Williams. I think Maggot might have had a... No, it was Multi-Rap who had off, I think. But let's see... Up at the front if Ben is not coming in. And neither is Matchip. I wonder if they're trying to go till the end on these tires, or they just want to have really fresh tires at the end. But they're definitely losing time to Ahmed at the moment. And neither is Billy really pitting, so Billy might be just following the two at the front, see what they're doing. Ruska in P4 right now, also having not stopped. Followed by Andre, who's getting is a 1 second off in P5. This Haas does not sound good. It's interesting. Matchup's now definitely suffering in pace. Has dropped behind Ben already 2 seconds. And I wonder if Ben is able to match Ahmed's pace, actually. Got yellow flags. Oh, for Maggot's pitting, I think. Just coming out of pits. Or is Maggot out of the race? I think Maggots is in the pits and has has retired. So that's done. Race done for the Williams driver. Meanwhile, I think the gap has now stayed consistent with Ahmed between Ben. So I wonder if Ben is just trying to stop. No, he has to stop, I think. Maybe Ben is trying to just not stop. I wonder if he can make those inters last till the end. He's not losing time right now to Ahmed, which is interesting because Ahmed is on fresh inters. So it's a bold strategic move from Ben if he can pull it off. Be interesting to see how much tire life he has left. What percentage those tires must be. If anything, he's actually gaining on Ahmed. It's the gap is now back to over 24 seconds, almost over 24. So this might work out. I guess that's the only move he had to try. It's definitely going really quick because Majib is now over 3 seconds behind him. And I think Majib is maybe trying to do the same as Ben, stay out. If it works, he'll still be P2. And it's Billy is also staying out. So this has definitely shaked up this race if they can pull off a no stop. Then Ahmed has a lot of work to do to gain back some places. Ahmed P6 right now, closing on the Haas Andre. Oh, and Majib gets a 3-second penalty. So that's hurting. It's gonna hurt in the end if it's gonna be close with any other drivers behind. Meanwhile, Floricello gets past, or because Marius is pitting. So Marius is going for a late stop for some fresh inters. Meanwhile, RLH Clowns are now into the points position. Lurch in P10. And we got Phil ahead of him 7 seconds in P9. If Ruska and Andre have to stop, then I think this will definitely gain Phil some good places. I don't know if he's gaining. He might be. It looks like he might be gaining on even Florian in the Ferrari. So could still improve here. Oh, and the Ahmed. Yeah, Ahmed just gaining a place there because Andre decided to pit. So Ahmed now up to P5. Let's see his gap to Ben has now shrinked again over a second. So maybe Ben's tires are starting to now finally give up. But Andre is coming out behind Phil, I'm sure, because he stayed out so much longer. And there he is exiting pits. Even drops behind the other Racing Point. So P10 for Andre for now. Still ahead of his teammate. So there goes Lurch. Phil, P8 and P9. Florian and the only Ferrari left. P7. Just behind Chazzy Jeff, who has also stopped, so he's P6. Definitely going to end all these drivers. So it'll be interesting to see if the remaining drivers, if they start to pit, where they will come out now. But I think Ben should be safe to come out ahead of Jeff for sure. And now the gap to Billy's coming in, so he's also decided it's not possible to go to the end, I think. So I wonder really that promotes Ruska to P3. It's interesting that Billy decided not to try to go till the end. And Ahmed now lapping Billy Misu, I believe. And it's Billy's coming out. Phil is now through turn 1, and he will get ahead of it's Billy, just about. So that has worked out for Phil massively because they were not near each other in the first stint of the race. Definitely Phil was stuck behind Ruska. for a while. So Phil now up to P7 and probably looking to gain another 2 places if Ruska pits, and maybe even catch Florian. Although the gap is 4.5 seconds to Florian right now. Still 6 laps to go, or 5, 6, something like that. Let's see what the remaining 3 drivers will decide to do with their tires. Ben has not come in again, and Madship stays out as well. Oh, and a 3-second penalty for Phil. So Ruska now will be soon overtaken by Ahmed, and probably maybe he has enough pace to stay ahead of Florian and Jeff, but definitely gonna be vulnerable to Ahmed in in a few laps time. So we have 4.5 laps, I think. Up front, Ben is now over 8 seconds ahead of Matchup. So this will be very interesting if he can make these tires last. Or might we get a puncture or something? I don't know if you can do 26 laps on the same interest. Let's see if his gap to Ahmed is actually consistent still, surprisingly. It's still 22 seconds. So even if he did pit now, he would only come behind Ahmed by a few seconds. Advantage over more older inters, so they might have the same pace if he pits now. So if he can make it last, I think it's worth trying it to go all the way. Matchup now over 10 seconds behind Ben, so Ben is really stepped up the pace here over Matchup. But Matchup, yes, I think going with the same route, that stay out and risk it. I think Ruska is just about to get overtaken now by and I'm down. We got Andre gets past Lurch, so will Lurch be able to come back? Yeah, I think that place still keeps a 10th place, so has 1 point for the Clowns, and another few points from Phil. Let's see, I think actually Billy is gaining on Phil, or actually keeping with him, so that will be a battling it out on the final few laps. And I think Ahmed just about to make a move on Ruska. And Ben has started lap 24 now, so it's only 3 laps to go. So can he make those tires last? This has played out massively in that case for the Mercedes driver favor. And Ahmed actually is struggling to, you would have imagined it would have been easier to get past Ruska, but we've seen before that Ruska is great at defending from behind, holding up Phil for like 10 laps in the first stint. So, meanwhile, Matchup now already 13 seconds, so he's definitely maybe trying to watch out for these tires, probably struggling for grip. But still looking good for even P2. Might be finishing ahead of his teammate, actually, with this strategic call. See how his line is through these S's. Oh, gets another penalty there. Hopefully, we have to see how many penalties he has. Versus Ruska and Ahmed. So Ruska actually has no penalties, so Ruska might be looking for a good result here, and I think Ahmed has no penalties, and Ben has 3 warnings but no penalties. So Matt Jib might be losing out here on his P2. He has 3 penalties, so he's just about 3/10 safe. So he needs to really not let Ruska under 9 seconds. I think it was 3 penalties he has, right? Let's look again. 1 penalty. Yeah, he has 3 penalties. So he needs to... Oh, and he's gone off. It's gone off massively. So that's not great. I think Ruska is still battling off with Ahmed, and they're actually fighting for the last podium because neither of them has any penalties. So if Ruska can hold off Ahmed on those old inters, he can even finish P2, because now he's within Majib's 9-second penalty. So currently looking good for Ruska, and Ahmed is already within podium as well, and he's getting past now. So I think that's realistically P2 for Ahmed and P3 for Ruska, unless Ahmed can hold up Ruska. And but Ben, yeah, about to start his final lap on those inters that are 25 laps old, having made no stops in this race, which you can do in a if it's a rain race, as there is no mandatory tire change necessary. And we got yellow flags somewhere. Somebody is off. It looks like AlphaTauri of Billy Mizu having off. So in P14, getting lapped by one of the racing points of Lurch, and Phil is in P7, still holding off Billy and Andre, and the rest of the field is pretty spread out and settled in. So we'll be coming back to this battle. I think Ben is on his final lap through the SS. Final time. Oh, actually, he's not in the S's yet. So he still has a half a lap on these now what are 26 lap old inters, followed by Matt Chip in P2, who will be dropping, I think, to P4 with his penalties. And Ahmed having lost out to Ben here with strategy actually is it's very unfortunate that I guess McLaren did not consider the tires might be able to go all the way. But let's go back to the leader coming through now, final few turns. Great call from Ben on the not deciding to stop, and Majib has had it off somewhere. He's very struggling on those tires now, but Ben coming through the last corner takes the win of the first official race of the season for C3, and Ahmed coming in last few corners for him, having qualified first, is coming over now in P2 for Ahmed in this McLaren, and great result for Ruska. P3 having started gaining 10 places, starting outside of the top 10 and finishing P3. And we got Jeff Chazzy P4, Florian P5, Phil finishing P6, drops to P7 due to penalties. Bill Misu jumps him in P6. Matchip coming down to 8. Oh, is Matchip having a puncture maybe? Oh, he's run out of fuel, but Matchip's dropped massively on the final lap. And he might be out of fuel or something has happened. And Phil actually drops to P8, and Lurch is finished P10. Lloyd Hall P11. Marius Daniel and Alfa Romeo P12. The multi-wrap has also DNF'd on the final lap, I think. But this is this is the end of the race for this round. And driver of the day, Ruska, can't disagree with that. Starting P13 and finishing P3, great strategic call, not stopping. And where we have our podium, Ben taking the win, literally stealing it from the McLaren by just not stopping. And still great race for Ahmed, but yeah, it would have been interesting if they were on the same strategy. How would have that how would have they battled it out? But yeah, I guess the way is to not stop on inters. Manage your tires. Although we saw Matchip struggled on the final lap, so I guess it must have been on the line for Ben as well. So a great drive from Ben, making those tires last with great pace. But yeah, here is our final order, finishing order. We might be doing some interviews with the top 3. So I'll be inviting them into the chat. Let's see if anyone's joining. Oh, hey Ben. Do you have Ruska on your list? Maybe you can invite Ruska, because he finished P3. Let's see. But great race for you, man. I really actually wanted to hear from you that on that win. Like couldn't believe you were going for the no stop. Oh, was it actually forecast that it might stop? Okay. Alright. So you just basically were waiting to see maybe you can go on the soft tires rather than go for another intern and then stop again in case it stops raining? Uh-huh. And were you then... were you worried? Oh, okay. Were you like... How sure were you that you might be able to finish even?
I wasn't. I mean, I think Matt got a penalty, got a puncture, didn't he?
Yeah. He was like dropping off massively, but then yeah, on final lap he dropped like almost down to P8 or 9. So yeah, but I mean, I was spectating him, but I didn't really see the tire off. But he definitely was like going 5 miles per hour. So yeah, but great race for you, man. I guess yeah. So you were on your final laps, where you like you might get a puncture, or might not. Like were you trying to be cautious, or because
I definitely reined it in. I was running lean mix for most of it. And it was I had the little thing up on the MFD, and I think it got to like 84% on that front left.
Crazy. But surprisingly, when I was looking at the lap times, like after Ahmed had pitted, like your times were still good. You guys were matching each other, and then like for most of the final stint, you were not really like losing time to him. So that's when it seemed like you still had, at least you had a pace still.
Yeah, I think he's running a dry setup. I was using a wet setup, which is why I was nowhere near Matchip on the straights.
Oh, that makes sense.
was so close. I was in overtake right behind him, and I couldn't even get close. The gap was the same.
Right. Yeah. So that was like and forever going on stuck behind him. But once you got past, you were like taking off right away. So, but yeah, great result. You outsmart the McLaren, and then yeah, Magic couldn't, I guess, maintain those tires as well as you did. So
guy point. Both of us going for that no stop.
Yeah, I figured he might have copied you, I guess, once he saw you. But I saw he sent a dummy one time in, and like he did a swerve to the pit entry and then backed out of it because when he was still ahead of you. I don't know if you remember it.
Yeah, he did it twice, and I was out of it. I was not pitting until the dry if it came.
Yeah, but yeah, great race. I think so. Ruska is not joining and Ahmed's not joining, so I guess I'm gonna cut the interviews here. Yeah. But congratulations, and see you at the next.
Thanks for streaming.
Yeah, good race. Tomorrow. Yeah, see you.
See you there.
So we'll be cutting the stream here, and hope you guys can join us at the next race. So thank you for everyone for joining.